Hello everybody, Darren here, and welcome back to episode 46 in my second Let's Play series for Anno 1800. Now in the last episode, we focused heavily on the logistics side of things here in the New World, reorganizing Port Banús to be a sort of trade hub for the entire region. Today, I've got plans to revisit the Arctic and increase our gas exports over there, as we had trouble with them before, but also, I'm going to be building a brand new amusement park in Swords, and beautifying our botanical garden. The age of beautification is upon us because, ladies and gentlemen, I have gotten my new PC and I am rocking it right now. It's finally fixed. Apparently it had faulty RAM. And I got notified very short notice. I thought it would be in the shop for fixes a lot longer than it was. It was only a couple days, and then it was shipped straight back out to me, and it seems to be working like a dream right now. Fingers crossed, no more issues. I don't really have much of a performance report because I've only had it for such a short time, but I've obviously, with Anno 1800 specifically, increased the settings just a little bit. I think I had shadow details and lighting details down just a little bit. Now everything is completely maxed out at 1440p. I'm even using a little bit of anti-aliasing, which you don't really need to use. And I tested out the new AMD fidelity thing that they released actually just for this game, and it's okay. I don't know, like, it's a bit of a tricky one with this game. I won't go into it, it's boring, but in my Discord I kind of went through comparison shots, performance report. It didn't really seem to do that much that I can't just kind of get on my own anyway. But at the moment, I'm rocking a solid 45 FPS. Now, I didn't expect much from Anno, or, you know, kind of city builder games, or games that kind of scale unpredictably. Obviously, if you keep your camera locked tight around here, it'll stay at 60 FPS pretty solid. But as I've unlocked the camera so you can zoom further out in the settings, and that kind of slows things down as well, especially when you get a whole island into view. But generally speaking, it's a lot smoother, and obviously render times have been vastly improved. I've already done a few speed builds, a few time lapses, rendered them out, and I'm extremely happy with the results. And the only other games I've played, just for those who may be interested, would be Battlefield 4, which again is like a 7-year-old game, but that was running at 240 FPS when everything was kicking off in a 64-player server. 1440p, completely maxed out, so very, very happy with those results. But that is an older game, and Frostbite is immaculate, so that stuff is great. The other game I played was SnowRunner. Again, 120 FPS or something, all maxed out. Beautiful game. Really getting into that game, actually, even though it is just driving from point A to point B, but it's really relaxing. I've been playing it in the evenings. Highly recommend it, actually. For those of you who like maybe something like a Euro Truck Simulator, or just want to do some sort of... It's a great podcast game. It's probably a great game to while this is on in the background, actually. And then the only other games I've tried are Total War Rome 2, which again was somewhere in the 140 FPS range, maxed out in a full battle while combat is going on. And I think that might be... Oh yeah. The best looking one of all, Horizon Zero Dawn. That game, that looked so good. Now, I've 100% of that game on PlayStation back in the day when it came out. Back in the day being 3 years ago, I guess, whenever it came out. But on PC, my god, 1440p, maxed out with some of those extra bells and whistles they thrown on it. God damn, does Aloy's hair look amazing. So yeah, that game... I mean, I said it before, I'd be almost tempted to do a Let's Play just to indulge myself and go through, because it looks so good. And it runs so well. I don't know what the FPS was, but over 100 again, so... Very chunky card in this PC. For those who don't remember or don't know, it's an RTX 3090, an AMD Ryzen 9 5950X, and 32 gigabytes of memory. I don't know if I mentioned it, but they said it was faulty RAM when it went and got fixed. There was also a broken fan, so they of course replaced that, so all good. Everything's running hunky-dory, so let's jump into the episode. Some people were saying, oh, you don't sound that excited in the last episode. Well, I'm gonna be excited now, okay? No, I don't know, I didn't think so, actually, in the last one, but some people did mention it. Anyways, so the plans, I've already gone ahead and done the time lapses for the amusement park and the botanical garden. So why don't we jump on over to one of those right now? That's why I'm staying just looking at this island, avoiding showing you what I've been doing over here. So yeah, let's just begin. I'll start off, I think, with the amusement park, and then we'll take a look at it. So let's begin. Ladies and gentlemen, you may remember I'd left that area, that kind of football field-sized park, vacant from a few episodes ago, and that was always dedicated, or meant to be, the amusement park. So started off fencing off the whole area, kind of lining up the gates with the hotel. So there's a nice little welcome gate that comes as part of the amusement park pack, which is kind of what this area is based on, right? It's a DLC of its own. It's just ornaments, but it allows us to kind of build out this little park here. So the two big attractions would be the roller coaster and then the Ferris wheel, the high flyer Ferris wheel. So I placed one of them down next to the river, the Ferris wheel, and then the roller coaster in at the back, kind of at the back of the hotels and actually in view of the hospital, just in case there's any accidents, I guess. And then the two gateways I kind of linked up with the boulevard. That comes as part of the Ubisoft Club rewards, which I think everybody has now, right? So, nice little boulevard that leads from one gate to the other, so you can walk straight through the place. And then ticket booths either side to kind of charge you on your way in or out. I pictured that's probably what happens, although maybe it is free to enter and the ticket booths are for the rides. I don't know. Or maybe it's the kind of ticket booth where you redeem tokens and get your tickets for different rides and things like that. That'd be kind of cool. I did notice that the Ferris wheel, not the Ferris wheel, the roller coaster specifically actually has a ticket booth baked into it. So it does seem like you gotta pay to get into that. Or maybe redeem your tokens, like I said. So, I struggled a bit with this because there's only 16 ornaments in the amusement park pack. One of them would be the gateway, one's going to be the roller coaster, one's going to be the Ferris wheel. So that's like 3 burned already. And then you've got 13 left over to kind of, you know, dot around the place and try to make it come to life. So that's basically what I did. So we have the beverages. One of my favorite things is the canopies. I think they look awesome. They kind of blow in the wind and flutter about. They look great. So after I'd gotten the layout down, which you can kind of see, I've laid it all out now with all my little boulevard, and I've kind of made these sort of laneways that are supposed to be kind of like queues that lead up to the main attractions. And the basic idea was to essentially put down repeating ornaments as far away from each other as I could. And I didn't like the fact that you could see I had 2 of the same canopies in the same spot, so I went with the Christmas pack and actually went with the what's it called, merry-go-round. And I was like, oh yeah, that's really good for kids. And I experimented by putting down that kind of hedge maze for a while, and I was like, it doesn't really fit. I thought it'd be kind of fun for the kids to play with, you know, like a hedge maze, kind of fun little game, but it's kind of a bit more ornate than that. So I was like, yeah, this isn't really working, so I got rid of it, moved the merry-go-round there across from the kids playground, which again comes from the city life pack, and then I decided just to have a nice line of ice cream and candy floss and all of that stuff with the merry-go-round in the middle, and then the barrel organ players chiming away for the merry-go-round as it goes around the whole time. So I really actually ended up, it's the same actually that's going to happen with the Botanical Garden spoilers. It's like I wasn't too sure of what to do, and then it all just kind of clicks and comes together in a really nice way. So I was quite happy with that. And then on the outskirts of the kind of fencing and stuff like that, I started putting down some of the tourist cherry blossom trees, because it kind of makes sense to me. That's like, well, this is a tourist attraction, and whenever we have tourist attractions, I like to dot around those trees. It's almost just like a signifier that's where tourists goes. I got a little distracted here. I noticed at the back of the hospital we just had a bit of empty space, so I decided to make it a sort of private park just for the hospital and put out some chairs and tables and things for them to kind of have. I think I might put a fountain out there as well. I didn't do it yet, but I think that's kind of nice, and grow our own trees. So it is largely kind of like wildlife and stuff, but it's, in a way, but it's and more natural trees. But it's just kind of like a nice little recluse, maybe for people who need to go in some therapy, go for a walk, things like that. I had a little journey around in first person, and I noticed that I was trying to get a feel for like the journey people would take when they're in there, and I was like, yeah, some stuff just doesn't really make sense. It's great to do that, because you really do get a feel for like the game on the ground, and if you want things to make sense for people, especially when walking around cities, you find those little alleyways and things that you can change. It's always good to have a little walk around and be like, oh, you know, this would work really well here, or this wouldn't. Anyway, the last thing I did was I put down some advertisements at the back of it, so that they're only facing towards the hotels. I thought that kind of made sense. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes as the sun sets on our lovely new amusement park, open for the very first time here in Swords. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks pretty good. It's just, it's quite difficult, you know, to spread the variety around such a large space. But you'd think with an amusement park, it should be large. You know, I dare say it should be even larger, really. But it's just tricky. There wasn't that much stuff in the amusement park pack, so I'm not sure if I'd recommend it based on that. Just because of everything that's there, I think looks great. The canopies, the high flyer, the Ferris wheel, and the roller coaster. Great stuff, but just unfortunately not that much of it, you know? So it makes building an actual amusement park quite difficult. You kind of have to rely, or at least I did, on several other DLC packs, such as the Christmas pack to get the kind of merry-go-round, the City Life pack to kind of get the children's playground and some of these little restaurants I've added in, the tourism pack for maps and things like that. You know, so I'm dipping into everything at our disposal, really, to fill out this entire place. But I am generally quite happy with the result, and it's in a nice part of town, you know, between the hotels where the tourists would be attracted to this area. There's a lovely little restaurant outside of it. I like to think the Ferris wheel then has a great view of the river, even though, yeah, I suppose it does, even though it's kind of a bit of a swamp in the middle there. Not really, but you know what I mean. It's not exactly like a rushing waterfall kind of situation or something. It actually looks awesome now as the sun is setting and it's getting darker. The lights are starting to come on the little street lamps of the boulevard. I love the boulevards, as you can tell. I've been using them a lot. I think they just, I don't know, they really do break up the monotonous kind of white tiles of everything. I love such a great detail in the game is the way the lights come on separately. They don't all just flick on. Oh, it's 7 o'clock. They all just flick on. They power on individually, slowly over time. Such a great feature. So the other thing I was going to mention as well that I was discovered for the first time.
We have possession of that curiosity.
Oh, great. The other thing that I discovered for the first time when dabbling with some of the settings as I got my new PC was that the placement of trees on the fences are actually in different places every time you load in. I never noticed that before. I don't know if that's always been the case, but it's definitely happening lately, because I noticed here, for instance, I made damn sure to make sure that this was visible behind you know, the trees were on either side of it, and now they just regenerated right in front of it. Not that I really mind, but you know, it's kind of interesting. I spent a lot of time, well, not a lot of time, a few minutes extra, just making sure that, you know, our little advertisements had good visibility. But it was all for naught. The place actually looks awesome during the night. Should we go for a little walk? I want to. Through our lovely welcome gate. That's one of the best ornaments in it as well, in the amusement park pack, is that they have a welcome gate, and then on the opposite side of the gate it says goodbye. But it's a little trick. You know, you can't see the letters on the other side. It's a little bit of a trick that they're pulling here. But I love it either way. It looks good. So let's go for a little walk in our area. The moonrise is looking pretty ominous, I would say. So we get our tickets maybe on the way in. I was debating whether or not you buy tickets on the way in or you get tickets for individual things, but either way there's a ticket booth there. We have the tin can alley, and then we have the shooting range over there. Love the ice cream stand. Face in the hole. Balloon sellers, etc. Then we come up to the... There's actually like a little beverage stand there. People are eating, dining, having a bit of food. Oh, I never noticed that before. You've got the characters. Wow, in pretty high detail. We have Anne Harlow, Benty, Jorgensen, and then Vincente Silva? I wonder why they went with those three. Oh, that's so cool. I never noticed that. That's such a great... It's so cool when you zoom in and you get to see all these things. All the little concept art and loading screen art that's on the thing over there. That looks so nice when it's lit up. I think you can actually ride these things. I suppose we should do that, should we? I was going to say, actually, just really quickly, it's a bit... I do find the bar table's quite an odd addition to this pack. Because it's like... It's an amusement park. Why are there... I guess the adults need to blow off some steam. I think the children's playground makes sense for this place. You've got maybe more adult rides, but the youngest kids can kind of come here, play in the swing sets and stuff, maybe go on the merry-go-round. Wanted to have them next to each other. Hotels being lit up in the distance, and the iron schlong behind it looks great. We've then got more food stands and things like that. Fish sandwiches. Let's go for a ride on the Ferris wheel. Oh, we're facing this way. Can we face the other way? We can indeed. Oh, look at that. Should we turn it up? That's actually pretty cool. I didn't really consider... Oh, the World's Fair in the distance as well. Looks good, man. Looks good. That kid is loving it. And then as we circle around, we can then get a lovely shot of the river. We can see the zoo over towards the Artisan Cliffs over that way, and then come down past the river. I don't know if we're going to build anything out here on the banks of the river, but probably something eventually. Alright, and the last one we'll go for a ride in is the roller coaster, but maybe we'll make it daytime for that. Let me just turn down the game. I feel like I'm screaming over myself. Yeah, so let's just flick it back to daytime. Maybe go for a ride on the roller coaster. For those who don't remember, it is Control, Shift, and R to hop down onto the ground. And then you just left-click things that you can interact with. Alright, we are off. I swear to God, I've never done this before. I just know you can. I've seen other people do it. Are we on one right now? I don't actually see the cart. We're just hovering around. Man, I wish I could do my own cinematic pans and my own tracking cameras. Whoa, God. I think I'm gonna puke. There we go. Pretty cool. The fat guy on it just gets stuck and rolls back. Anyways, right, so it looks like we're suffering a little bit for tourists.
I never thought taking the omnibus might
Shampoo.
be such a joy.
The only way we could run out of that now is if my deliveries haven't worked out quite right? So sugar is low for the lemonade that we're producing, although there's 48 on the island, so that's not too bad. There's 36 on the island here. Maybe we're just not delivering it fast enough. Is that a problem? Shampoo. This ship is just docking now. I do have a problem here, and it's that a lot of ships are just waiting here. And you may remember that I decided to place a waypoint here so that they must go there and then turn around. What they're doing, I thought like, oh, they'll go there and then they'll reassess what the closest port is, but they don't. They go there and they still go back to the kind of port they wanted to, and they end up just waiting here. It's probably the only thing in the game I really just want patched is that either allow me to disable my grand trading post because of Docklands, and that way I can just get rid of all these piers, just have this still here but disable it, or just update it so that it prioritizes Docklands or it prioritizes loading speed, because it just doesn't seem to. You know, they're choosing to wait and then load at a place that takes longer. What's the loading here? It's 2 tons per second. Over here it's something like, well, we'll have a look. Where's our... There. 25 tons per second. So it's not even like a tiny difference. It's a massive difference. You know, the time... 25 tons per second over 2 tons per second. Think of it. You got a ship full of like 300 goods. Think of the time difference there. Someone could do the math on that. It's a lot. It's a lot of seconds that are just being wasted. And when we have situations like that where soap is like running out, and it's just because ships are just lazy, basically, just waiting back here. I mean, maybe it would make more sense. Let's just test it. I mean, I guess I don't mind getting rid of these, getting rid of that. Are they going to prioritize the Docklands then, and will they just queue maybe 1 or 2 here? That might be better. The reason I just put extra piers there was just because I thought it would cut down on the traffic, but again, they'd rather wait than just circle around and hit these ones. But they seem to be doing it now, and maybe there'll always just be a queue of 1 or 2 here. I mean, 2 people are waiting here, 2 ships, I should say.
The crane.
Why did I come here? I don't remember. Not too sure.
Bring her around.
I think it was possibly to get some sort of good. I don't remember. Anyway, that's probably the only, legit, the only problem I actually have with the game at all. And it only got introduced really for me with Docklands, because I was like, well, I've clearly got something that's far better, and yet they won't use it. Man, I'm just blown away by how the game looks. Even though it's like basically the same as it was before. It's just like slightly better, and I love it. Alright, anyways, so that was the amusement park. I've also done the botanical garden, but I think what I'll do now is we're going to hop over to the Arctic. I got some building to do, and then we'll come back and have a look at another time-lapse then. So, you may remember in the last episode, we're struggling for gas. So, to give context to this, within Crown Farms, the only bit of fluctuation to our population, which apparently now is going to be to do with tourists a little bit, we can see it dropping slightly, was also the population here due to power. And power is fluctuating because we've got a very, very small amount of gas. It's actually at 0, right? There's nothing left. We're about to burn out. There's 6 in the building and 0 on the island. And there's a tiny little trickle of gas coming in here every now and then. It's not enough to constantly keep it up and running. So people were quite helpful in the comments, but ultimately I have exhausted the many things that you can do to increase gas. So for instance, on our island of Hopefell here, our glacier, I have 1 Arctic lodge covering 2 different gas mines. And here we have the
wide blue horizons.
We have the only mission, we have the only item that actually gives you productivity to a gas mine. There's only 1. Nothing else does it. Okay, I've looked into it. This is an Arctic lodge. It's not the same as a trade union. So the other items, for instance, that give you productivity generally don't work here. So the only 2 I could get to affect these was the productivity 40% from the gritty gas extractor, and that actually generates some zinc and copper as a byproduct, which is great. And then a music box, which just increases productivity of everything by 20. So combined, we get a 60% increase.
Don't touch any knobs or levers.
So 60%. So we're at 480 because we have the music box, the gas extractor, and then the base productivity of 300. So that's been modified by 60%, yeah. Is that how that works? I thought it was just added onto it. Seems a bit strange. Surprised it's not 360, but it says, yeah, 480. But anyway, whatever. That's as good as it gets. With the 3 mines, I suppose. So the only other thing I could do is this one isn't being covered by anything. I could put down another one here. So we've got 100 influence. I could spend the influence just to do that. But what I'm going to do instead is just set up this island, this glacier here, right? So we've kind of camped this one for now, and we haven't done anything with it. And I've brought an airship over full of construction material that we can just drop off. We're going to need a lot of wood. Now, you might be like, so the reason I didn't build on this before
in one of your factories
was because I said it's really difficult, at least for me, to maintain everything these guys need. So, for instance, on this glacier, we need something like, well, I could just check the population here. There are 900 technicians, 899, so let's just say 900. And each one of these buildings takes 250, and we have 4 of them, right? So that's ultimately all I'm trying to do is just man these mines. Now, we could actually remove a house here if we wanted to, if we really wanted to keep it even. But I like having just a little bit extra just in case someone gets sick or something like that. That means these never lower their productivity, ever. Unless they blow up, which they have a habit of doing. So, the challenge then is to, how can we increase our supply to meet the demand of another few hundred technicians over on this glacier? And I noticed that on this island here, on King William Island, we've got 220 technicians not doing anything. They're just sitting there, consuming, but not working. And there's no commuter pier in the Arctic, so we can't just transfer them. But I thought what I'm probably going to just do, and what I am going to do, is get rid of them. It's just literally get rid of the buildings for these technicians. Not going to even downgrade them, just going to remove them. So it's hard to kind of distinguish them, excuse me. But it's the kind of buildings that are a bit more in place, not less tent-like. And we're going to get rid of them until we get down to about 0 or about 20 plus 20 technicians. And then we're going to try and build up 200 technicians on this island. And that means that the production that we're making doesn't have to change. We just have to redirect where it goes. At least that's the theory. So that's what we're going to try. And we're going to just do that in the background while we then hop back over to build our botanical garden. So, first thing we'll do is we'll just start taking out some of these buildings. So we'll get rid of these 4. So we're down to 100 just like that. It's 20 per building, so we just need 5 more, really. And that's it. Now, what I could maybe do is try to relocate the most furthest away houses back into the center down here. And you might even be able to reduce a heater in future. Maybe not right now, but maybe. So these are all just explorers. The other ones are technicians, so not too big of a deal moving them just really quickly.
The competitor's island is under siege.
And we'll just, for the sake of looks, move that down here. Cut that there. Alright, so we've got a bit of extra space. Who knows? We could maybe squeeze in a, what was it? Fur? We could always have fur, maybe? Over there? Not really. It's not that much space, but if we need more people, we can obviously do it. So it's not a big deal. Right, so that kind of downgrade in our population. Actually, our population is falling. Wow, our tourists are collapsing. Sorry, I'm just going to hop back to the tourists for a second, because they are really hemorrhaging.
I assume the lack of food fare and fanfare is intentional.
Wow, even jewelry is falling down now. Now, jewelry is supposed to be coming in through here. He's arriving right now. I'm going to increase this then to, let's try 36. I'll keep that one the same, because that's stationary. They should have enough jewelry. Anyway, so what's happening is, with the jewelry dropping down, their needs get capped. And when their needs get capped to 80%, their population falls. Now, apparently I've also run out of jam. I don't understand that at all. How could we have run out of jam? There's 3,100 jam down there. This ship is bringing it up now. I feel like it's... Yeah, it's just... Oh, that's such a... What is going on, dude? Why is it doing that?
So brave. And
I feel like it's not even on the route right now.
saved.
There we go. Just play the route again. In fact, pause the route.
The fire has been vanquished.
Is it paused? Pause it now, right? I don't know what's paused or what's not. There, it's not paused now. So I'm going to change this. Just move that back up here because I don't want them making that weird journey anymore. I've also noticed clay pipes don't exist on the island for some reason. Although there's 293 on the main island, so maybe it's just a bit of a delay. Anyway, hopefully it'll make that delivery and things will be alright again. In fact, I'm going to take it off and then just put it back on. So it was called Fancy Things. And it's going to do a fresh pickup if it can. It's heavily confused. So we'll let it do a big fresh pickup, re-deliver all that stuff, and hopefully things will get moving again. Yeah, it seems to be a bit of confusion with some of the ships because of that changing the piers. So let's just get them to move again. So hopefully that all kind of clears up. Anything else?
Dabbled in idealism.
Reporting in.
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird. I mean, I haven't seen it drop below 70,000 in a while, so I panicked a bit. Anyway, back to the... Actually, sorry, one other thing. What's this? Engineers are low now as well. Why the hell is that? Oh my god, that's really bad. Yeah, I think it just got confused for a second.
The place is electric.
It is. And the workforce is full, so what's the problem? What's changed? I don't understand. That hasn't changed. Let's just reduce that. I don't know why I can't place what that is. If all the houses are full, which they are, and nothing's run out, why would suddenly our supply of engineers go down? I really don't know. Anyway, I'll have to think about it. Right, so we've removed that. So what we need to now do is basically open up our trade routes. Go to, let's just open Arctic. So we have a glacier supply route that basically goes back and forth between these two islands multiple times. Glaciers can only be supplied by airship. And airships can only hold 4, so I make multiple journeys. So what I'm going to do is add in this island, I think maybe twice. And we have to just add it in after Hopefell. So Hopefell's there. Just need to bring it in. So now it's going to go King William, Hopefell, and then here. Drop all the same stuff, but it's a second priority island, so it's not as high priority. Let's do that again. Let's move this up the chain. So just after Hopefell, then drop everything off. And then one more time. Drop everything off. Coal, I imagine, will be the most difficult thing here. And that's it. That's all that needs to change. But I'm going to add another ship to it. We're going to add on the Wild Swan, wherever that is, and accept. So that's 2 ships on that now. So now this island's going to start getting supplied. What would probably be good is if I could also... I noticed that Arthur Gasparov, we have trade rights with him. He has lots of pemmican and lots of different things that we could maybe just temporarily buy off him to keep ourselves afloat here while we set up the building. Let's see it, check his other island. Yeah, so he's got plenty of stuff. So let's get building. I'm trying to think how I'm going to do this. I think I'll probably build... Well, let's have a look at the Arctic lodges, actually. So an Arctic lodge placed in the center here can probably hit 2 gas mines. And also do something for the people that are here. That's one way to cover everything. What I did up here was I covered people with one thing, giving us reduction in flu chance, increased workforce, and reduction of flu. So I might leave the flu chance thing, but just go with this one, right? Go with the workforce 15%, still reduces flu chance by 30, and then go with these 2 items, which is productivity 20 and productivity 40. And that way we can cover mines and people all with just 1 lodge, hopefully. So we can move this. We can just move that wherever we want. Maybe I'll turn it sideways, actually, and put it somewhere like there. Something like that. Let's just have a look at what the gas mines will look like. So this is as far over as the gas mine could possibly be. There's actually 4 deposits here. The question is, does this hit both? Yes, it does. And there we go. They're both covered. And we can have lots of houses around them. So that's nice. 4 mines. Normally we're covering 3. Is this... It doesn't make any sense. Does it 13? There's 13 on this one as well. Oh yeah, there's 4 there. Oh cool. I thought it was always groups of 3. Interesting. Alright, so we can at least get these 2, I hope. So that means we need 500 technicians. Our first delivery is coming in, so we're going to let this thing fill up before we build any houses. Now, the first thing we're going to need then will be... Actually, yeah, while we're waiting, even though our ship is full, can I upgrade this? I can. Increase the storage, drop off more wood. And we're going to go to Gasparov and buy a pemmican or something. Just something to give us a bit of a bonus at the beginning, and then we'll... If we start running short, then we can try to address that. Okay, and how much steel do we have? And coal is 0. Good. Right, so the way we have to do this is we have to slowly upgrade and then reduce. We need to get to something like 800 technicians and or 800 explorers and then reduce them all. So we'll need more space than we actually have initially. So we'll just start with a road there. Start with the road just lapping, yeah, just overlapping and running around this place. And then we'll need very careful placement of heaters. Heaters also have to heat the gas mines. We'll probably see if I can manage 2. So let's just extend the roads out to kind of get a feel for the range. So that's the range there. It's pretty good. It's the same width as a house. Okay. Let's try 4 there, 4 there. And we can move this down a bit more as well. Probably. Yeah, so to heat that one, we need to be up 1 tile, and that's it. So that means they're all heated. That's as far as we can go. To keep it even, might just do it that way. Okay. People are going to live in and amongst the gas mines themselves, I guess.
A competitor's island withstood an attack.
Now, we'll also need a canteen. Canteen doesn't need to be heated, so it can sit on the edges. So any bit of road that is heated, that's going to be all houses. It's going to have to be houses. I was just thinking maybe a road could come up and reach these. Oh, so close. So close. But not good enough. Actually, what we could do... No, yeah, it's not going to work. Never mind. Ultimately, that needs to be there. Damn, it's such a shame, just 1 tile. Oh well, whatever. It's got to have a limit somewhere, right? So, it's fine. Alright, let's try this again. Just... So they're all heated, but these 2 aren't. So I'm going to go for like a kind of a rib cage thing, right? So you want another one somewhere down at the bottom that will reach equally across that way. Don't know how much... I keep getting that, by the way, that I'm disconnected. It keeps happening.
So many
I don't know if
adventures.
it's something to do with this PC or not, but it's only been since I've used this PC. Which is why I have that conspiracy theory. Right, let's buy some stuff from Arthur. Just get 200 of them. I'm just going to drop it...
has been a respite from the tribulations of genius.
Okay, doke. Drop it up there. Should we start building yet? No, not until the coal arrives, and then we can get the first heater up and see how we're doing. So this, I can move that down and to the right. I guess that's the other thing, actually. Really, we should maybe try and keep everyone in this... Oh no, we'll need more houses than that. But the first ones I get rid of might be the ones on the edges. Yeah, that might make sense. Good. Yeah, connection established. Keeps doing it. Man, my frame rate up here is awesome. I'm at 107. I mean, I guess I'm looking at nothing. But ice.
Hovering.
I actually think this place is one of the nicest looking sessions, so I don't mind. Alright, let's drop off all that pemmican. They're loving it. We can't even drop it off. There's so much of it. It's like an airship crash. The whole thing burns down. Sorry that I'm taking a while, but you know, I'm trying to just do it carefully so I don't have to make multiple runs like over and over again. Although I'm sure I probably will. So that's good. Yeah, so let's go with something. So that's all covered over there. We want to do something like this, I think. And see how that reaches out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think something like that. Right, and then we need room for canteens. So again, a canteen there is probably fine. A canteen, can't get one up there. It might have to just be tucked in here with a little road that leads to it. Pretty sure they don't need heaters anyway. I'll just double check on that. Yeah, that's the reason I had them on the edges in a lot of places. Oh, you know what I could actually even do as well, which would be great, is just count the amount of households. Actually, I could just calculate it, right? So I'll just open up a calculator really quickly. I know that we have 800. Oh, well, we're getting a workforce increase. So that's a slight lie, isn't it? So yeah, maybe I should just count them. So let's just see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Seems like about 45, something like that. Just to get a general idea would be good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, yeah, we definitely need, well, we're going to need more anyway, but I'm just trying to remember where that core is going to be. That's kind of the important thing. Can't move these deposits either. It would be nice if you could with the Research Institute, but you cannot. I love the Arctic though, no pun intended. It is so chill. Alright, let's drop that off. Let's go over to Arthur's other thing, maybe buy some oil lamps. So there's coal being delivered here now. 139, look at that. Pretty good. Pretty good. We'll probably feel the effects soon though. I've noticed out here though as well, it'd be really nice to get more storage. The only way we can get more storage is if I get rid of one pier. So I'm going to get rid of this one. And I'm going to pop 2 new storage buildings out this way. And that way we can just unload more coal here than we normally do. Because often ships are not even unloading fully. And they're just carrying the coal back to the old world. So the multi-regional route of coal, it ends at the Arctic. And these ships typically are full when they get here. Some of them aren't though, so maybe they are getting to unload it. Do I have them on wait to unload? No, it doesn't seem like it. Guess we'll see. But either way, more storage can't be a bad thing. Alright, I think we're ready to start building then. Now that there's coal and there's food and all the supplies that they're gonna need, I don't see why not. So let's begin. So the canteens are down first.
Is it colder inside than out?
Wow, they're pretty far from the canteen, I guess. So maybe I'll... Let's see. How far does that reach? Reaches pretty far.
An explosion in one of your factories.
Don't know if that's any better. These ones don't really have it fully. Oh, I remember why. I said I was going to put one there as well. We can get rid of some if they're not used properly. So this is a storage warehouse, obviously. So our little cart is picking up the coal. They'll take it to the heater, so they'll be fine in a second.
Airship.
All right, we're obviously full up on pemmican because we did just buy a bunch. And we're going to buy some oil. Actually, yeah, let's just buy 50, 50, 50. 50. He's looking for coal. Makes sense. And then we'll just drop it all up here. And hopefully just fill this place up for a while to come. And then it'll take a while, but we'll feel then the knock-on effect of what supply we're going to need. But we did remove a lot of demand here by removing those houses, you know, so hopefully it works out. Now this Arctic warehouse or lodge, we're going to then need the same items we got in the last place, which means we need to talk to Nate to transmute them. So we need a radiator. That needs 10 Arctic scrap and 10 brass. Oh, I think we can actually make that right now. I'll just wait till we come over with that. What am I waiting on? Oh yeah, so the coal has arrived. Nice. So they need 100 before we can even access the pemmican. Or eat the pemmican. So that has to go all the way around there and wrap around. No, that's okay though. Alright, cool. It's coming alive. What are we up to? 76. Rolling. I'm just gonna take a quick drink. Bear with me. I think I've done this right anyway, right? I mean, I can't think of anything that's glaringly obvious that I've made a mistake on here. I mean, I'm doing it all without checking the statistics screen, which is a little dangerous. But I think it'll be fine. Sometimes you gotta go with that gut feeling. Haven't built any houses that don't have heat coverage. We can always see the coal up here, which is great. Yep, so let's just go back. We're going to fetch that Arctic scrap that's over back here. I'll just check now how much we have of it. It's in the construction category. 150, love and life. It looks like we've bought it up to 150, have we? Oh, no, maybe not. I have a buy order, but I don't think it works. It was just as a... I was just hoping it would.
On course.
But 150 is plenty. And then we just need brass. We should have brass here. Oh crap, we've actually fallen below something.
Warms the extremities.
Husky sleds. Do we not have a minimum threshold on that? Negative. Why don't we? And how have I never noticed that before? That's gonna cause a problem later. I can feel it. Oh well. Alright, so brass, we needed 10. And then, I can't remember how much scrap we needed, but we'll just take 50, because we're going to need it for other things anyway. Or 40, I guess. So the other one was the gas mine extraction thing. There it is. So this requires 50 and 10 steel and 5 caoutchouc and gas. Alright, maybe I'll do that between episodes. It's a bit of a fetch quest. And then the general productivity was 20% for this one, the music box. So that just needs 10 wooden planks. Yeah, we can make that then at least. Alright, let's fly over to Nate in the dark of the night.
Cool. You might want to look away for a moment.
She's taking shit. Sorry, I don't know why that came to mind. What else is she doing? I'm sure there's probably a perfectly reasonable answer, but it's like, well, we're in the Arctic, gotta dig a little hole. Sorry.
Waiting course.
I don't know, crack myself up. Anyways, this house wasn't built. What do we got now? 168. That means now they're consuming the pemmican, but they're not yet consuming the oil lamp, so let's go build a second thing. Let's get all these houses done. We're out of wood, so I'll have to come back in a second. Let's transmute the mine thing, which we can't. The radiator, which we can. And the music box. Wish there was a noise for that. Like some clanker and jiggery pokery, some electricity or something. That sound cool. Alright, we'll go back.
Heading set.
So we'll pick up a bunch of wood and then bring these 2 items up as well. Sweet.
Ready.
This one has the particularly pulley, giving us an extra movement speed and 100% loading speed. So what's the loading speed here? 3 tons per minute, so I guess it's 6 tons per minute?
Waiting course.
Still fairly slow, I guess, compared to something like the Docklands. Arctic Docklands expansion when? Let's have a look at these little critters that are here. What are they? Oh, it's seals! It's a cross between a fish and a dog. As Carl Pilkington famously said. Alright, let's pick up the last stuff we need. That's just going to be the wood. Boom, boom, boom. Take that up here. Bring the items. Got a lot of traffic down here, do we? Yeah, they're all waiting. We're down to just 2 piers, so that is causing a bit of a backlog. Because I forgot, of course, airships... Do airships work while ships work? Because an airship stands over a pier, or sits over a pier and does its thing. I wonder, can it also then be used by a ship at the same time? It'd be nice if it could, because then that would mean actually it's really 4 ports that we have. 2 airship ports and 2 naval ports.
Airship.
Oh yes, look at that, glacier supply, full to the brim. Now, that's going to get brought here first. Sorry, this one. They'll take as much as they can, and then the rest is going to be brought over here. So that's good. Pretty happy. Yeah, it seems like it's the coal-wise, it seems okay. Seemingly. They're getting their coal as well. This can actually reach the pretty much everything, so we don't even need any supply warehouses. Although we probably will with the gas mine. I don't know if it's going to go all the way down to there. Might do. And this one can just connect in that way.
You reached a new milestone.
We're at camp. So we reached 250, so we need another 250. Oh, sorry.
Hovering.
Alright, we'll make another journey with just for wood, because we're going to need a lot of it, just building these houses and then eventual upgrades. Sweet. Alright, 270. So now we're just going to be waiting until we get to 500, then they can all be upgraded into technicians, and then we can get rid of the explorers. That's going to put, obviously, more and more strain on our economy. Now, I just need to make sure that everyone has access to everything they need. So I was just thinking this can obviously move in 1. And that way we can tuck in a couple extra houses there. Ah, look at that for heat. It's like just 1 tile over. Well, they can fix it. Got him. Alright, cool. Nice. Now, with technicians, we'll have to put down post offices. It gets a bit more complicated. So we just need to get that number to 500. Let's see what the potential of this island is now. It's actually 670, so we got enough. We have enough. As long as these houses just grow fully now. Oh, no. It feels that way, but it's actually, you need to get to that 500, and then they'll grow to 10 per household, so it's not quite yet. Close. Close, though. I suppose knowing that I won't need that yet. No, I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there. I was going to say maybe I could just immediately put down the houses there and then put it, you know, build that later. I'll just build out here really quickly. We'll just put down a heater somewhere in the middle.
This city is a magnet.
It's going to burn through coal quite quickly, but it will allow us just to spam out these houses and get it all sorted pretty quickly. Okay, so this just needs to be supplied, and then I think that's probably enough houses, I hope. There, that's all our wood spent. So we'll just get our ship, load up on more wood, come back,
Dirigibbling.
and hope that that coal holds out for now. I think it will. The airship is on its way. Let's see how much it's bringing. Oh, that's nice. 106. That's good. Love to see it. And the fact that I didn't, you know, I've supplemented pemmican and other things, but I haven't supplemented them with any coal or anything. So the fact that they've got enough already is a good sign, I think. Right, so I think while this is doing its thing, I guess no, we should stick with it until we see the payoff. Pemmican should be fine, right? We should have loads. Yep, we're full. We can upgrade this one more time for extra stuff, but we need glass and wood, so we'll have to make a trip south, pick up some of that glass.
Awaiting course.
Dropping off a big load of coal. They can only hold 150 right now, until I get that final upgrade. Then they can hold 250. So that's also slightly part of it. Now I think we can supply 2 heaters, not 3, generally,
Props are spinning.
with the rate at which we're doing things. But as long as we just get to that, we're about to get there. As long as we get to 500, oil is then going to be in demand and explode. And that's going to give us a huge population increase. And then we can pretty much get rid of all this. I don't think you need them for anything. I don't think so. And then we'll just upgrade all of these guys into technicians. There we go, we're at 500. So that number is going to rapidly increase now. So now the potential population is what it says it is, which is 820. And then that population can double when you turn them into technicians. So we could have 1,600 technicians here with the amount of housing we have. But we're going to obviously downsize that. We only need about 500 if we just want to get 2 gas mines up and running. If we want to go a bit hardcore then and increase supply, then we can look to go out here.
Don't think
But even 2 gas mines is expanding what I initially had. Remember, I only saved about 220 technicians on the other island, and now I'm putting down about 500. So it is still an increase, and I'm going to have to try and cope with that demand.
Sometimes I sneak into the hangar just to watch old Nate ordering the technicians about.
Altitude stable.
So yeah, that's going to be a while. So while I'm waiting,
Discovery that just oozes culture.
while I'm waiting for these guys to reach level 10 or 10 population per household and upgrade them, we're going to hop back over to our lovely Island of Swords. I'm going to show you what I've been working on for the Botanical Garden. Let's begin. So to give this a little bit of context, I have to go a little peek behind the curtain, behind the scenes, if you will. And that's the fact that these 2 time lapses were recorded before I had gotten my new PC. And why that's relevant is because when I got a call and said your PC's coming tomorrow or whatever, I was like, great. But it meant that I wanted to hold off to record the episode for it. But it did mean I had a lot of time in the day to play around and try to do something interesting with regards to building the amusement park and then building the Botanical Garden, which is why we've got 2 nice time lapses in one episode. But not only that, it gave me time to then just queue up every single item that we hadn't gotten for Botanical Gardens in the Research Institute. So we've gotten every single item now and actually got a DLC achievement for it with regards to, yeah, getting every single module you can. And the reason I did that was because I came to the realization that there's a lot of generic buildings for the Botanical Garden, right? The generic modules that are just the one building type, right? That's just duplicated over and over and over again. And if you want to complete sets, it seems on average every set has 3 of these, or at least half the set is usually made up of these generics. On average, not completely, but on average. And it just meant that if I was completing 3 sets, we had like 9 of these just duplicate buildings, and I just couldn't handle it. I just thought it looked horrible. So basically, I made the choice to get every single item, check out every single tree, and then just build the place based off of what I thought looked nicest. So what you're seeing here is actually every single unique Botanical Garden item, except for 2. And the 2 that I left out, I talk about later, but basically they're common, quote-unquote common items that didn't look particularly good and didn't really fit anyway, so I just left them out. I could have fit them in if I really wanted to. But what it does mean is that this place isn't very efficient. We haven't completed any sets. But it's unique, and it looks a lot better, and I'm really happy with it. And it actually makes... I didn't do a full check on this. Someone might have to do it for me, or think about it. But I think going with the biggest and rarest and best looking stuff gives you more attraction than if I was to have completed a few sets and modify them with that music pavilion building. Because the music pavilion gives you a 20% increase, I think, to certain sets, but some of those sets have like 3 commons in them, so even getting 20% back isn't really worth it if you could just get 150 attraction value. Anyway, I digress. Here, what I'm building, I mean, you can basically see I've already basically completed the goddamn time lapse by this point, but essentially, another revelation I had while building this place is that the little bridge crossings that lead over the fountains, they actually count as connector modules for zoos, gardens, and museums. I never knew that before, or at least never thought about it. So that meant that I was struggling a lot to get the boulevards put down, the pathways, without blocking off modules and collapsing the whole thing. I think I talked about that when I was building the aquarium. It was really difficult to have a path that wrapped around almost everything, but cut off nothing. Really challenging. I was looking back over at the aquarium, and I was like, I don't know how I did that, like, without pulling my teeth out. I would say pulling my hair out, but I'm actually bald. Pretty old. Anyways, so once I'd figured out that the bridge crossings for the fountains were the way to go and would allow me to connect things, it just like opened up a whole new kind of creative freedom, if you will, with how to build it. And I thought it looked awesome as well. So I actually ran 2 World's Fairs to get even more. And as you can see then, I actually had a little cut there in the time-lapse. That's because I actually added in a few other things, and I ended up getting distracted and looking away during the recording, so I edited a little bit out. But essentially, I've added in the little tourist buildings over on the right side of the fence there. You can see like the little tourist pavilions where they can sit and have a look, in at the fountains and in at the big green areas. And then we've got 2 souvenir shops in at the back, and then we got that little food stand with the canopy next to some tables and chairs for people that want to relax and have a bite to eat. As they're coming in and walking through. Remember, this is a way to get in towards the scholars, so it's kind of like, I like to think that they got a little bit of food around their area if they want as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the palatial gardens looking as regal as ever. I'm delighted with how this has turned out. For the longest time while doing it, I was really unhappy. I tried moving things around so many different ways, and I just never really could feel like I got things to quite gel together or fit together properly. I really like how it's come together now. The addition of the long fountains as well as the bridge crossings, which do actually count as connectors for the Botanical Garden, really made the whole place kind of come together and gel together much better. I've opted to not use any sets, instead using every single unique module that I could find. So some of them just have the generic, you know, the kind of generic rooftop thing like this would have here, you know, these generic ones, and then others have their own models, and I've used every single model except for 2, and it was the reeds, which is a common item, and then the lily pad, which is another common. Not the giant lily pad, just a regular lily pad. So they were kind of underwhelming when in terms of their visuals, as well as not in terms of the quality of the model or anything like that, but in terms of like the palatial garden, just having like common reeds and a common lily pad just didn't seem to really make sense to use those, and they didn't add up to much attraction as well. So I thought, yep, we'll just squeeze in all of the best models that we can, all of the ones that aren't common, and I'm really happy with how it's turned out. I think it looks awesome, so looking forward to what you guys think as well. I have the little biomes here, of course, the tropical area, where we've got multiple palm trees, and then a lot more water features, and then the central centerpieces, the Brazil nut tree and the banyan tree, together, looking awesome. And then just more exotic kind of plants in the center as well. And then we've obviously got smatterings of cherry orchards, and I thought it would be nice to keep the cherry orchard at the front, the oriental cherry, because of the tourists as well, because it's kind of their theme. So that's it. Let's hop back over to the Arctic and see what's transpired since we last looked here. 800 population we're almost about to close in on. So let's do our little bit of upgrades. So not everyone can upgrade yet. Oh, not everyone's got full-blown access to a canteen. That's alright. So up to 310 now, and they're gonna grow. But we need to just upgrade almost everyone we can. We're out of wood. We'll have to come back, make more journeys. Oh, we've got some here. Yeah, let's make the journey now. Right, so 547. So we need more than we even need, and that's the reason is because we need to have access to everything. I don't know if I actually access Husky Slides up here. I'm guessing I do. Yes. So we want to do that here as well. So that means we need to get, what is it, like 800 or something? 750. So we have to upgrade even more, yeah. So hopefully if we upgrade these guys and they just start growing now with post offices, let's get those post offices down. They cost a little bit of steel, but luckily we have it. Let me just try and move some of those houses that didn't have direct access to the canteen. And we can upgrade them later. Okay. And then, yeah, so post office. Let's go. So we'll just need more wood. Maneuvering. While we're waiting, I know that we need to bring up windows, isn't it? So we know, what do we need? Windows, wood, and maybe even a bit more steel, just generally. So maybe we'll just hop back over to wrong place. You can see actually there's actually a lot of traffic here now. Hopefully not too bad. Traffic here also. Yeah, so let's grab some windows to bring up here for future. Let's get some of those and bring some wood for good measure. Don't think we need anything else. Alright, off you go. That's gonna, because I think these require steel as well, don't they? Yeah, just a little bit. Not too bad.
Hovering.
Alright. Boom. So that's gonna boost our technicians massively. We get 3 extra per household. They've got their canned food. We just need to get to 750. We're almost there. And we can call it a day. These guys are all ready to upgrade as well. Don't think we need to though. If I can save the I guess we'll do it. Get that to 750. We're really close now. So I'm just going to speed up time a little bit.
Ready.
Make our drop off. Suppose no harm in getting them to work right now, right? So let's start building these. 29. Yeah, we don't have the steel yet. And then we're going to need probably Arctic lodges, ranger stations as well. So, gotta think about all that. Alright, we've breached 840. Oh, I forgot to equip these things. There's the workforce. Now we're laughing. There we go. So there's actually no husky sleds got delivered here yet. And that's because... oh, actually, I've totally overdone it. If I'm only going to stay at about 500, I actually didn't need to have so many. I can't believe I just realized that now. But yeah, so now we can just downgrade. So let's start downgrading, brighten it up. I have to check on those fires as well in a second. So let's get rid of any explorer shelters that we can find. These explorers, yeah. And that's going to reduce our consumption rates. Sweet. Alright, so these guys are going to have to move over. And then we're going to also need ranger stations. So I'm running out of time. This episode is going to run very long. So what I'm going to do is just call it there. And then the next one, we'll sort this out. Add this stuff to the trade route. Because I have to wait for the ship to come up here with the steel and everything. So it's going to be a while. So we'll get that steel delivered. Get these guys set up with their gas mines. Add it to the route where gas gets brought back out. And we should be good. Hopefully if this lasts, pretty successful venture. And we do have a lot more technicians than we should. Than we had previously. So I'm a little bit worried. Although we do get 15% for free with that extra item. And then we need to also go ahead and... yeah, make the item. So I'll have to, in between episodes as well, bring up the item for increased 40% increase from the gas mines itself. And then we should be able to power even another gas power plant. So that's nice. Alright, that's going to be it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a blast. I love the episodes where I get to do a little bit of building and some logistics together. It's always nice. I'll endeavor to try and do some building in the next one as well. I'll have to think about what to improve next. So yeah, let me know if you got any feedback for any of the things I brought up during this episode. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, thank you very much for watching, and remember, if you want to support this series directly, you can click the join button to become a channel member. Doing so will get your name in the credits, as well as loyalty badges and emotes to use in the comments. If you don't see the join button, it means the video has been copyright claimed, but you can still join from the channel page on desktop. You can also link your account to our Discord to get a special role on there that will give you access to the Senate House and a few other perks.